Guys who approach girls a lot. How often do you get rejected? We used to have a game me and the boys would play when we were younger. The goal was to get rejected by a girl. If you got the phone number you lost. Looking back, it got us all over the fear of rejection. I ended up with more numbers trying to fail. This actually sounds like a great game. I'm stealing it. Rejection feels a lot different when your boys are chanting your name like a champion. Damn. When I was younger, we would roast each other. Was good times though. Had lots of fun adventures and made friends with some of the girls we tried chatting up. 75% of the time. But I shoot for the stars. Currently sitting at 100%. I must be doing some wrong. Lower your standards is a surefire way to bump up those numbers lol. In my early 20s I might have gone out with my friends, and depending on how many bars we went to hit on half a dozen women in a night. I played it as a numbers game. If you ask 100 women to F, some will slap you in the face but some will also just go home and F you. I usually ask for IG and never get my request accepted. Yeah, don't ask for IG. Ask for her number so you can set up a date. Don't beat around the bush. Soft rejections are usual, but nothing wrong with them. Cold approaches needs a guy who is very well calibrated. I would never again approach an almost ugly woman. They are the most prone to try to humiliate you. Cold approaches needs a guy who is very well calibrated attractive. The word you're looking for is attractive. If a guy can cold approach a woman and snag a date then they are attractive. A guy can be creepy, even if he is handsome. An unattractive well-calibrated guy can make a woman feel comfortable to start a conversation. A creepy guy not. Disregard of his looks. Jiffy vertical bar A to 5QHVBX to C0E. Me with the last 3 women I tried with. All rejected me. I'm best friends with 2 of them. And the third only were good friends. The hell you hitting on your friends for? I wasn't friends with them at first. Before my glow up. 100% after my glow up. 50%. Damn king. Did the stats all year 2023 to 2025. I'm pretty funny, so it's at 70%. I'm also tall and not ugly. I ain't never got called creepy or anything too wild, like we say online. It's mostly reject either BC of their friends, or because I'm not her vibe, her type or preference. This gives me hope. If half of the guys don't even try, you're already a better candidate than them. Rejection is not something to be taken personally if it's just off the rip. You have no idea what's happening in her life. She could be going through something, or in a relationship, or gay, or whatever. If you go on 2 to 3 dates, you could both just realize it's not in the cards. I've had the most success with giving my number to women and letting them call me. It's less threatening and they can come to you maybe 2 to 5 days later when they've had time to psyche themselves up, or when they are not with friends and they know you're interested. Women fear rejection just as much as men, and removing as much of that anxiety for them as you can is half the battle. I love giving my number to them. The success rate goes up for sure, and they aren't pressured. Yes. I was never big on approaching girls, but my old roommate was, and I saw him do it more times than I can count. He was a tall, good-looking man, but he got rejected more than anyone else I've ever seen, probably 8 out of 10 times. That being said, he approached so many women. He also got more phone numbers and dates than anyone I've ever seen. The woman he ended up getting married to was just some rando he saw on the beach one day when he was leaving. He dropped his stuff in the car, turned around and went back to talk to her. A few years later they were married. Once you get over that fear of rejection, it doesn't really matter how often it happens. I just got rejected. I'll try to get rejected 24 other time. 99% of the time. The key is to make the interaction fun for you, regardless of whether or not you get rejected. So the advice is to just be autistic. IDK how you got that from my comment, but sure man. Whatever works for you. If you're out there choosing to be in conversations that you don't enjoy, you're probably not gonna go anywhere. 50/50 I picked girls who smiled at me or gave some other positive body language cue first though, so it definition altered the odds. Sometimes they're just not her type, or she's in a weird place in life, or there's another guy you know nothing about, so a no isn't always an indication about anything you're doing. The girl that rejected me smiled at me 3 times, though I talked like I never talked before. If you are thinking about rejected by a random woman you approached in terms of the girl, you can't generalize at all. You don't have any experience. Who knows what she has going on? Maybe she just is smiley. Maybe she thought you were cute, but then found your conversation off-putting. Maybe she's just getting over a relationship and enjoyed some attention, but didn't want to go anywhere with it. There are a lot of women and they all have their own things going on. Flirting isn't an if-then sort of thing. You just do what you can to increase the chances of finding something mutually exciting, and then meet enough folks that those chances eventually work out for you. Remember that you aren't just trying to get women interested in you. You are trying to figure out if you are interested them beyond the obvious bits. Close bracket. Men on Reddit don't ask woman out lol. Whenever there's a thread asking about rejection, most of the stories are from high school. Reddit users are either kids or haven't gone out since the iPod Touch was still on shelves. Depends heavily on style and context. Are you a good looking guy only approaching women who are less attractive than you, seem attainable, and are staring at you in the bar? If so, your rejection is minimal. Are you an average or below average looking guy with below average social skills approaching very attractive women who are rejecting guys left and right in a nightclub and don't know you exist until you walk up sheepishly to say hello? If so, your rejection is almost constant. My advice? Don't approach trying to get women to like you, and don't approach trying to minimize rejection. Those are bad metrics and bad goals. Instead, approach to get to know her like a human being, which makes you more unique/memorable, since most guys are treating her like an object or someone they need to impress. And approach with the mindset that any rejection you do experience doesn't mean you're unworthy as a person. It just means you didn't approach well, or you weren't her type and you weren't charming enough to overcome that. It doesn't actually impact your life long term at all, and it's not a mark of your worth as a human being. I'm not on the dating pool, but I did at one time get directed a lot. I don't really approach women a lot, but I prefer approaching women than use online dating apps. I mostly approach women I think they give signals first. Since I can't always know whether that signal was for romance, I just approach platonically to gauge the situation. But I never approach total strangers. I'd have to have interacted with them a few times first. I have been rejected as much as I have succeeded. Rejection isn't fun, but doing it this way feels safer. Nobody on Reddit approaches women. I ask all the time. I have zero fear of rejection. Women respond positively to confidence. It's that simple. At least 80%. Most of the rejections are either the I have a boyfriend variety or I get the number, but then don't get a response to my first text. There used to be a joke about a guy who would just walk up to a lot of women and just ask for sex. Someone said to him, "You must get slapped Alert." He replied, "Yeah, but I get a lot of pee too. I don't think I'll get pee this way lol." Don't beat yourself up. It's a law of averages. If 1 in 100 ladies would say yes, then all you need to do is ask enough people and you are in. I spend all night approaching girls. Men too. Never rejected. The perks of being a waiter, I guess. Damn, you must be a hot waiter. When I was younger and single, I'd say that 1/20 cold approaches were successful. Whatever the number was, it was usually rejection. Most of the time it's obvious they have no interest in engaging with you. Just leave. 70% success rate'd say. I've also had women approaching me and telling me they had feelings for me which I didn't reciprocate. So it's not one way. Women practically throw themselves at me every day, and I just don't even care anymore because they're probably just looking for an ego boost. I'm looking for unicorns, and they are rare. Or already in a relationship. Are you Chris Hemsworth? LMAO no. Just apparently a good looking guy. I think it depends on your qualifications mostly. I'm 42. Considered to be above average looking. Very fit. earn good, and drive a nice car, I get rejected between 1/3 to half of the time. Half of my attempts with women in early 20s fail. Above 25 years of age maybe 1/3 of the time. But let's say, if I were super famous or super rich, I believe it'd have been less. I don't know what you mean by a lot, but I've never been outright rejected. Only after a date, or during a convo on WhatsApp or something, when I didn't match the type of man they want. I went out with a 5% success rate in mind. It was usually a lot better, but practice also makes perfect. I got pretty good at approaching women, and striking up a conversation. Helps if you dress well and smell good. Rejection is all in your head, and about wanting an outcome. I approach girls and the majority are nice, very few are straight up bitches, and even those I try not to take as rejection. Just incompatibility.